Charlie Chaplin as the little tramp. More than a movie star, a character so lovable, he touched and delighted people all over the world. The most widely recognized and successful entertainer in history. Police, the first full expression of his artistic ambitions, was butchered at the time of its release. Now, a little detective work has saved Police. At last, this vital episode in Chaplin's career can be seen close to how he intended it to be seen. D.W. Griffith's 3-hour blockbuster, The Birth of a Nation, was released in theaters, not Nickelodeon's, early in 1915. Its great emotional impact forever changed the audience's attitude toward movies, and its huge financial success changed the movie business. The movies continued crawling out of the cramped, low-class Nickelodeons and into increasingly grander venues. The movies were coming of age. By late summer, Chaplin was at work on his own feature, a major departure for him, not just in length, but in scope. It was called Life. Chaplin was taking his little tramp character out of the short comedy universe and thrusting him into the dark, ugly world of his own childhood. Chaplin intended to take a long, hard, graphic look at homelessness, at fraudulent evangelism, and at the struggle for survival as he saw it. He presented the little tramp with a moral dilemma. In a world where daily survival is in question, how do you distinguish right from wrong? But the clamor for Chaplin comedies was too great. His contract called for a short comedy every 3 weeks. His releasing company, S&A, was telling him, "No time, no time." Chaplin was forced to pull the plug on Life. Late that same year, he returned to his special project. If he couldn't make a feature, he would use the footage he had gathered for Life and reconstitute it as a short comedy called Police. But even this was not a conventional-length Chaplin comedy. Its 3 full reels ran well over half an hour. In a 1916 interview, he called it the best thing I have ever done. But Chaplin was getting too independent as far as S&A was concerned. They brought out Police but compressed it into the standard 2-reel format, removing 1/3 of the footage. 2 crucial scenes were cut. One showed Charlie as a former prison inmate, working in a kitchen and meeting Edna Purviance. Without it, this later scene in which they seem to know each other already is bewildering. The largest cut was this sequence, probably the most hard-edged, daring, and Dickensian he had yet attempted. He staged a comedy sequence in a flop house, full of reprobates, petty thieves, consumptives, and grotesques. He was going to play Oliver Twist for laughs. S&A didn't know what they had. By slicing away these sequences and leaving the remains to fend for themselves, they probably thought they were cutting material to fit, like a tailor. What they were doing was decimating a mature film from a developing artist. This is the only motion picture Chaplin ever directed to be savagely cut in the original release. With none of the original creators alive and no documentation existing, the reconstruction becomes a bit of a puzzle. The key to the puzzle starts with another S&A release called Triple Trouble, which came out in 1918 and was advertised as, quote, the new Chaplin film, unquote. But just how new could it have been? Chaplin had been gone from the studio for over 2.5 years. This is where our detective work came in. When Police and Triple Trouble are examined carefully, they reveal a similarity in characters and locale unmatched in any of Chaplin's other S&A comedies. The Flophouse set in Police matches the Flophouse set in Triple Trouble. The thief wears this outfit in Police and reappears in the same outfit in Triple Trouble. In fact, the leftovers from Chaplin's long version of Police account for nearly all of Triple Trouble's Little Tramp footage. Everything but a few shots reprinted from 2 other Chaplin films, Work and the abbreviated Police. An unrelated story shot by S&A in Chaplin's absence filled out the rest of the 2 reels. Triple Trouble was nothing more than a mulligan stew cooked up by S&A to exploit its full reel of unused Chaplin comedy. To piece the film together, the 2 films were viewed dozens and dozens of times, and 7 different negatives and prints were carefully examined. After considering many options, we came up with an arrangement of shots that seems the most logical. The restoration was laboriously pieced together to make it the longest and best-looking version possible. This, then, is a reconstruction of Chaplin's footage as we feel he originally intended it to be seen. Major features of the time, like The Birth of a Nation, would be tinted and toned for dramatic effect. And back then, night exteriors had to be shot in broad daylight, so they were printed with a blue nocturnal tint to clarify time of day. We have added appropriate colors to Police according to the practice of the period. What started out as a curiosity turned into a surprise. Flaws from the original 2-reel version of Police disappeared. The narrative became clearer, and the view of extreme poverty became more hard-hitting and realistic. We had stumbled onto an improved and important Chaplin creation, certainly his most mature film up to that time. And now we proudly present the restored, uncut version of Charlie Chaplin's